let's get right back into it. So, when it comes to what I've been able to do off stream, I've leveled Astro a couple of times. We're nearly up to 64 with it. I do kind of need to get them all up, but at the end of last stream, I was informed about the Shadow server that's coming to EU. And basically, if I wait until that comes out, move my character over to the new server, I'll get the road to 80 again, or potentially even the road to 90, if they increase that for Dawn Trail, which I think they will. They tend to do stuff like that. And then I can use that for 3 months to get a shit ton more levels on all of my classes. Because honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think that there isn't any point in me having on-level characters, on-level classes for the MSQ. Because we're gonna get level synced for most stuff anyway. And the only other thing is not having to wait whilst I kill a random mob that is in the overworld that is aggro to me because I'm too low a level. So when I do get that buff, I'm going to use it for the best of its ability as much as I can. Now the thing is that the better, the higher level content I unlock, the more base experience you get for repeating that content, even if it's in duty support or trusts. So I could get a lot of experience once we start getting into Stormblood, because it'll be potentially up to level 70 duties that I can do on repeat to get my level 70 classes even higher more quickly. And with something like the Road to 80 buff, things just add up and can get ridiculous pretty quickly. Now, the goal for today is going to be doing the job quests for... I want to do at least Machinist and Scholar. Machinist because I want screw. I want to be able to screw things. And Scholar so that we'll have done all of the healers. We'll have done all of the Heavensward job quests for healers. That'll be entirely boxed off. If we get the chance, the one I'd like to do after Machinist is probably going to be Dark Knight, just because I'm actually interested in where that story's going to go. So yeah. That's kind of what's still going on. I've leveled Samurai a few times, but that's just been from doing the daily quests for the Vath and Vanu. But the first thing that we're actually going to do is head to Idleshire. Because I might not, but I might have enough Umbrite in order to do the first, well, not the first, the next stage of our White Mage Anima Relic. You may notice I have quite a lot of crystal sand. I still need more. I think I need 680 total. Or 780 total. It's 60 each to be safe, and there's 13 classes. So it should be 780. Yeah, that's how math works. But it's recommended that you prepare 60 for each relic of both Umbrite and Crystal Sand. I can get Crystal Sand from making crafting materials, which I can buy the items for. That just costs gil. But I can't get Umbrite unless I use Tombstones of Poetics. So I have been doing hunts, as you may be able to tell, in order to get as many tombstones as possible. There is a chance that you can actually get more treated crystal sand out of one of these, so I'm just going to hope that we can actually get through this with only 58 Umbrite. But let's see. It is just a lot of pressing this button, unfortunately. So this is replacing the sphere scroll step. Okay, well that used 30, and we're halfway there. Oh no. Okay. What do we want on our white mage weapon? Well, clearly we want determination. That's the only stat that we care about, is determination. Hell yeah. Let's allocate that then. So this is halfway through. It would seem the anima has grown quite strong. Would you not agree, Arnott? That crystal sand, no longer aligned to any one element, could be so effective is unprecedented. The data we've collected should prove quite useful to your research. I wish to continue. For your sake and mine, that you should never want for strength in times of strife. I will become stronger. An ambitious one, your anima. That it should strive so fiercely to exceed its own limitations is quite remarkable. Not even Diamond Carbuncle demonstrated such tenacity. The bond between you two is one to be envied, for certain. Well, I did make them very determined. The documents you requested, as promised. Ah, Ardashir, your timing is impeccable. The crystal sand was as effective as we expected. However, it would seem your ethereal companion wishes to pursue greater strength, despite reaching what I've calculated to be the apex of its power. Doubtless you are aware of the potential repercussions should we grant this request. So what say you? Shall we cast caution to the wind and see what new heights the anima can attain? But of course, if it is the anima's wish, who are we to deny it? Though, should we succeed, there is still the matter of its vessel, the weapon. I fear it will not bear the strain of any new powers the anima will possess. I'll consult with our smith to forge a new vessel, one better suited to the anima's burgeoning strength. It would seem my stay here in Edelshire will be much more interesting than I anticipated. When you're ready to begin anew, you need but say the word. Come on. Get lucky. Yeah, okay, we got a little bit. We got a little bit. I don't think we're gonna quite have enough. Ooh. Yeah, oh, on the last one. Nice. Okay, so it's very determined. We're also gonna make it explosive. Determined and explosive. What has ever gone wrong with those two things? My body aches. It's too powerful for its own good. It is as Ardashir predicted. Its vessel can no longer bear the power that now courses through it. You must hurry back to him with the anima. I'll see to it he is apprised of the situation by the time you arrive. Should you have need to examine the anima more closely, give him the anima glass. I wasn't sure that we were going to get that, or if I'd have to get a little bit more, a little more tombstones in order to do that. So I'm really happy that that worked out the way it did. After, thank goodness, we must act quickly. There's no telling how much longer the soulstone will last. I would have the anima glass and the weapon serving as its vessel. As I feared, the anima's vessel has reached its limit. We must remove the soulstone at once. Soulstone appears to be intact. Ready the new weapon, Geralt. The Soulstone must be set before it begins to degrade. The anima's got a lot of spine for being one so small. I'll grant you that. This new weapon ought to make for a fine reward. It's done, lads. Hold her up and see how she feels. Looks entirely fucking different, because it's a whole new weapon. The pinnacle of craftsmanship, courtesy of yours truly. And the nodes what taught me the ins and outs of the elegant technology. Kana the White Tsar. My body, it feels so light. What manner of arcane magic caused this? Oh, they can see it now. A new vessel, designed by Ardashir and forged by Geralt? Thank you, both of you. Can it be? After years of research, of trials and failures, I can see the anima. I can see the anima, and I can hear it speak. Oh, if only my master could be here to witness this. After, Ardashir does not seem well. Perhaps he too requires a new vessel. Yes, something powerful like your new weapon. Might we ask Geralt to build one? It would appear you've developed a sense of humor to match your new body. Unfortunately, my ethereal friend, we cannot exchange ours quite so easily. Though the weapon that houses your soulstone is indeed exquisite, I very much doubt Geralt would grant me anything quite so elegant. But look at me standing here talking to you! Never have I felt such joy! Joy? You must be tired after such a long day. Rest. You've earned it. This marks a monumental breakthrough in our work. Though it still appears to want for knowledge, our goal is all but realized, and I can think of none better suited to teaching our young charge of the world and its wonders. Aye, you see to it your anima doesn't turn into a snivelling little shite like this lordship here. One is plenty. I imagine an arrogant, pig-headed clod would be equally undesirable. As I said before, it's been a terribly long day, not only for the anima, but for you as well. Rest easy after. I'll do all in my power to determine our next course of action by the time you return. I've gone and done it now, lass. I know he's trying to keep his composure, but as soon as you leave, the boy will be prancing around singing about the anima. I wouldn't count on him being ready to work again anytime soon. At least we got nothing to worry about so long as the anima is with you. Take good care of that weapon, yeah? Do I need to have it equipped? Yeah, I do. So this is in order to get the sharpened cane, which has some nice glowy effects. I forget how involved this step is. Which one is this? Is this the one that I'm going to fucking hate myself on? Oh, okay, it's the other grinding stage. Yep. Now that the anima can maintain a form seen even by those without your abilities, it's fair to say my research is all but complete. Our last task being to refine any abilities it has gained thus far. Once that's finished, I shall return to Razat-Han and make ready to present my findings. I dare say our work here shall forever change the study of arcane summoning as we know it. The hell's you on about, boy? Now I understand being excited, what with us finally seeing the anima and all, but I think you're losing sight of what our work's all about. Preposterous! The goal of my work was to create a sentient being capable of independent thought, which could then serve to help others. Alright, and you really think you've accomplished that? Bollocks! Ain't no way something what's grown that much, that fast, can be in any kind of stable condition. We've poked and prodded the damn thing more times than I'd care to count, and by the grace of Ralga, we've somehow managed to mess things up. Not mess things up. But tell me this, what happens when we're not around when a new weapon needs smithing, eh? I tell you what, it'll grow too big for its ethereal breeches and keel over. What the anima needs now is a body what'll handle it no matter how strong it gets. Until we can figure that, your work amounts to naught but piss in a kettle if you ask me. Oh, but what do I know? I'm just a know-nothing sot with a hammer. No doubt a refined, scholarly lad such as yourself has already considered such complications. The only thing more insufferable than a drunkard is when he's right. I was so blinded by its radiance I did not stop to consider the future, putting my own desires before the needs of the anima. Right, well, there'll be plenty of time for moping after we're finished, and I'm free from that witch Rowena. For now, we need to think up a way to give the anima a new, permanent home. The weapon holding it now should be fine for the time being. You just need to keep an eye on the anima while we figure out the rest. Actually, I may already have a solution, albeit an interim one, thanks in part to Ulan and her studies. We were working on a potion of sorts to fortify the anima weapon, that it might abide further growth. The difficulty proved in our need for ceruleum. It would need to be distilled to serve our purposes, and we simply had not the means to do so. As fortune would have it, though, we caught word of a renowned distiller recently come to Idleshire and immediately sought him out. After making our case, he was all too happy to assist. Blamprist is his name. Would you pay him a visit and see how things are coming along? There are other preparations to be made, of course, but Geralt and I will see to them. Everything should be in order upon your return. Blamprist, eh? That gives me an idea. You want to get some alcohol from him, don't you? You fucking alky. Cool. So I could accept this on the other classes. I've not done that yet. Deliberately. Because I don't want to clog shit up. But this is now another stage where I need a lot of something to do all 13 relics. But I can't farm it until I've spoken to this guy. Welcome, friend! What can I do for you? An order for whom? Oh, yes, that scholarly fellow. Ardashir, was it? Work on his order is well underway. Working with ceruleum is no easy task, though. Distilling a substance so volatile demands a substantial concentration of ether, the only source potent enough being singing clusters. Quite the rarity, you know. And for an order like this, why, I would require 50 at the very least. Procuring such oddities is beyond my abilities. But I have enlisted the aid of 2 fine young mages to see the job done. If only the price of their services was not so steep. Hello. There you are. We brought what you asked for. I trust you're prepared to hold up your end of the deal. My, what fortuitous timing! This young lady here was just telling me how she would love nothing more than to offer you her services in my stead. These are the 2 lovely ladies I was telling you about, remember? The ones collecting the singing clusters you require? Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Amphalise. This is my sister, Angelette. I'll keep matters brief. Blamprist agreed to undertake certain tasks in exchange for our help. If you'd serve in his place, we'll compensate you with the clusters you seek. Agreed? Splendid! Now that that's settled, I'll leave you to it. When you have what we need, come back and I shall see about distilling that elixir. That reminds me, a merchant in Rowena's employ deals in singing clusters. I believe it was Hismena? Their names all sound alike. At any rate, if you find their tasks to be too much trouble, you can always try striking a deal with her. So yeah, there is a daily or a weekly quest that you can do in order to get singing clusters, but you can also buy them for Tombstones of Poetics. So this is the weekly one. You're prepared to work then? Good. Very good. Now, if you're an adventurer of any merit or distinction, what I would ask of you is simple. A recounting of your travels, of your most spine-tingling, exhilarating battles. Only then shall you have your reward. But a single tale would scarcely be enough to even whet one's appetite, don't you think? That's why I must insist you write me 3. 3 gripping tales of daring do. and the singing clusters are yours. I can only hope your skill with a pen matches that with a weapon. Yeah, so I have to do 3 dungeons on the leveling roulette. And then this is the daily where I only get 1. Have you come to help me? I'll gladly pay you with the singing cluster if you do. I promise. You will? Yay! Lamprist is so mean, isn't he? Forcing his work on others. But a brave adventurer like you should have no trouble with this task. My work requires the use of a very special fabric. I weave it myself, but before I can use it, I need someone else to rouse the magic sleeping inside. That's where you come in. I want you to use the memories of your toughest battles to wake it up. But you can't do it in just any old place, or it won't work. You have to take my fabric to where the fighting happened, so the memories are fresh in your mind. Now be careful, and try not to get it dirty. And for that one, I have to do the 50, 60, 70 dungeons. But that's fine. Those are all not... That's not too bad. That's kind of what you'd expect to have to do for a daily or weekly quest. And in fact, one of the reasons why I wanted to unlock that today is the weekly reset is tomorrow. But they're also not that expensive. So I need 50, which is going to be what, 2,000? Tombstone to Poetics. So I'm probably just going to rely on the weekly more than the daily. Although at the same time, I'm already going to be doing the 50, 60, 70 roulettes for experience, so I may as well keep going. I'm going to need so many, because it's 50 each, so I need 650 total. And my Tombstone to Poetics are going to be going to Umbrite for a while anyway. The good news is that if I do the weekly today, even if it's after stream, I can then do tomorrow's weekly as well. That'll get me, 36 out of the 50. So then I only need 14 more. And I can buy that relatively easily. With dailies and stuff. Pardon me, Jesus Christ. Okay, but we're now done with that. I'll continue that off stream. I need to go to Foundation because we're going to start with Machinist, because I want to be able to screw. Let me screw things, god damn it. Where am I doing? Where am I doing? Where am I going? What am I doing? Yes. Jesus Christ. So, my new graphics card comes tomorrow. And I'm really, really hoping that fixes all of the issues that I've had with my graphics cards crashing and stuff like that. I mean, to their credit, they are nearly 10 years old. So, I kind of can't complain too much. They've done well. They've done really well. But yeah, I'm upgrading one of them to a 460 Ti. So then I'm hoping that I can use the 460 Ti for the game and the 970 for OBS, because there'll be 2 different graphics cards, so they'll actually work in letting me select what process uses what graphics card. But I'm not getting 2 because I want to get a new computer still so I can do a 2-computer setup for streaming. And when I do that 2-computer setup, this is going to be the streaming computer, and it's going to have an Elgato Pro capture card in it, where one of the graphics cards would be. so I won't be able to fit another 460 anyway. But be fine because it'll probably only be running one monitor and just be being used for OBS. So I'm hoping that should be fine. We will see, but I'm going to set that up tomorrow when it arrives. So potentially the future Final Fantasy XIV streams will be recorded in better quality. Because one of the reasons why we couldn't do that was because the graphics would keep crashing. Anyway, Stefanovan. With our tourney victory, we've inevitably etched the Machinist presence in the minds of the Holy See. And now that my father has relinquished the running of the manufactory to me, it would seem our fortunes have at last taken a turn for the better. Father has also formally responded to Lord Tedelgrinch, promising our support in House Zamil's next sortie. I am not yet privy to the details of the operation, but I imagine the role Tedelgrinch will choose for us shall be both demanding and dangerous. In his attempt to humiliate the Machinists, however, he will only provide us with another stage on which to prove our worth. A victory in the field will garner us greater support for the Holy See, and allow me to apportion funds towards the development of ever more potent weapons. Thus, 'tis vitally important that we see this operation succeed. But an equally important matter must be addressed, ere we delve too deeply into such concerns. The celebration of our tourney triumph. We must have Joy and Rosenthal join us for the festivities. But I believe Joy's services are yet required at the manor. Pray, seek out our Master of Marksmanship first, if you would. Hello. A party, is it? Nah, I ain't going. All I did during the tourney was watch. How can you say that, Master Rosenthal? Without your instruction, we'd never have stood a chance. Now look at us, upstart commoners, defeating the likes of seasoned knights. I taught you how to shoot, aye, but what that tourney victory was something you managed all on your own. I can see arguing with you ain't getting me nowhere. I'll just drag you back to the workshop instead. But still, we can't begin I bit my tongue. But still, we can't begin the festivities without Joy. This time of day, she'll be at her chores in the manor house. Maybe if you talk to the Count, he'll let her leave early to attend the celebration. She ain't one to abandon her duties half done, though. It'd be best to approach the Count directly and not give her a chance to object. Aye, the lass is awful serious about her work. Wouldn't want her keeling over from guilt now, would you? The Count should be home if you don't mind talking to him. I'll be sure the instructor here makes it to the celebration. I think the good thing about us having got to the singing clusters stage is once we have the singing clusters, let me just double check this. I think that's all of the money. Sorry, not all the money. That's all of the things that I really need to farm, because I'll need to get some new might. But I think you can get that for company seals. Yeah, you can. So that shouldn't be too bad. You also don't actually need that much of it. So that'll be relatively quick and easy to get. And then I think for the last stage you need an archaic enchanted ink, which is just, that's only one though, and that's 500 tombstones. So I can get all of that. That won't be too difficult. So yeah, the singing clusters is like the last item grind stage, but we do still have a light grind in the next phase of the relic. There's to be a celebration, is there? Ah, naturally you've come to fetch Joy. Pray, return to manufactory. I shall be along forthwith to explain why she shan't be attending. Why? Why the fuck? Huh? No, we need joy. Fuck you, bring us joy. Everyone is present, yes? Once again, pray, allow me to congratulate you all on your tourney performance. Ere you celebrate your victory, however, I have news. What is it, Father? It was quite a sudden development, but Joy has wed. Bloody else! Well, there's another good reason to bring out the grog. Wed? I'd heard naught of any engagement. She's gone then? Aye, Joy's chambers at the manors have already been emptied, and now that she's married, I do not foresee her returning to the manufactory. She left behind her firearm. Wait, what's Joy getting married got to do with her leaving the workshop? Within the walls of Ishgard, 'tis usually the unwed that serve the manor houses. Many retire from such work upon the day of their marriage, as young Joy has done. 'Tis all too much. Now that we've at last earned a modicum of recognition, 'tis ill-timed indeed to lose so talented a machinist. It would seem that familial circumstances demanded a swift union be made, but let us not bemoan what is lost. Let us instead raise a toast to the happiness Joy has found. You must needs accept that your colleague has moved on, and adapt your strategies accordingly. House Zamil will call upon you soon, and I expect to hear great things from this allied operation. A yawning abyss has opened in our ranks. How could she leave us without so much as a final farewell? Familial circumstances. Has something ill befallen her dad, I wonder? I should really be using more of a common voice with him. Celeste, you are acquainted with Joy's father? Aye. We oft hunted together. He was the one who suggested I try my hand here at the workshop. Told me his daughter found herself a decent job with a fine employer. Then mayhap he can also tell you whither his daughter has gone. I would fain convince both the wife and her new husband to accept positions at the manufactory. I'll speak with him, my lord. I don't much fancy taking to the field without Joy and her uncanny aim at my side. Even should Joy refuse my overture, however, we cannot simply abandon our obligation to House Emil. Rosenthal, you must drill your students without quarter. I'll push them as hard as you like, boss. As long as I'm fairly compensated. The celebration shall have to wait after. Unless we can persuade Joy to return, the burdens of battle must be divided betwixt those of us who remain. But surely she will come back to us. Surely. I am fucking up all of the reading today, apparently. That was a nice, quick one, though. Okay, this will get me auto crossbow. Ah, there you are after. 'Twould seem that 'tis not only Joy, but her father as well who vanished from the city. Celesto is out asking questions, but there are a few answers to be had. Rather than sit here on our hands while we wait for a revelation, however, I would prefer we begin preparations for our engagement alongside House Zamil. The Zamils have been struggling to restore the township of Falcon's Nest, an enterprise that has been interrupted time and time again by marauding Dravanians. The signs, and a steady trickle of scouting reports, suggest that the dragons are massing for a significant assault on the settlement. Its fortifications are not yet complete, and it will be the aim of the Allied operation to defend these half-finished structures from the ravages of the Horde. I expect House Hallionart shall be positioned on the front lines of this conflict. Should we fight well, the dragons will be routed. Should we fight poorly, our reputation will suffer. From Lord Tettlegrinch's perspective, either result is a victory. For the future of machinistry, however, we cannot afford to fail. Thus have I focused my energies towards designing an attachment that will improve our chances of success. Now the problem, which I was hoping you might help me solve, is the acquisition of suitable components. The swiftest way to create new technology is by repurposing the old. To that end, I would have you infiltrate Castrum Sentry and salvage a goodly number of war machina parts. The Garleans there may take a dim view of your efforts to liberate their supplies. Castrum Sentry is the one in... yeah. Okay, we can do that. I would also like to do the next Alliance raid today, if we can. So what I should probably do is, before we turn this quest in, go and grab the quest to unlock it. I know I could always run it as an Astro. That'll be a quick queue time, hopefully. Yeah, we'll worry about that when we come to it. Now, how do I play Machinist again? It's been a minute. I've really not been doing that much. I farmed gates in the Gold Saucer earlier in order to get some Tombstones of Genesis 2, as well as some MGP. Not that you'd be able to tell, because I also spent some MGP. But it was a fine purchase. A fine purchase. I got the Bakuto, which is basically a wooden sword glam for samurai, as well as I can't apply them here, but I got the rest of the bunny chief set, which is to say the chest piece, because the shoes are basically the same as the bridesmaids ones, and there's not much point in getting the cuffs if you've already got the nails. And the ears on a bunny don't show up, I believe. So it doesn't matter if I'm wearing them or not, I'm already an actual bunny. Okay, so I now need to go back to Panavan. I have so many Aetheryte tickets that I can probably not buy more for a while. So either I'll spend them on ventures, my hunt seals. But I do still need to do a lot more hunts in order to get Tombstones of Poetics. Like, it is just the quickest way to get them. If I notice that there's a hunt up, I just go to it and get 100 tombstones just like that for 5 minutes of work. With Joy gone from the workshop, I have no one else to whom I can entrust such duties. It is no simple task, I know, but I must have those components. Here they are. Splendid! These parts will do much to speed the construction of my invention. Now, if only Joy will return to us. Despite Celestos' most earnest efforts, however, it would appear that his contacts in the Broom have elected to spurn his inquiries. I sense an unseen hand and a sizable purse behind this sudden rash of reticence. Mayhap if you were to ask after the old hunter's disappearance instead, then the Broom inhabitants would be more forthcoming? Fuck it, I'll just run. When we do move to the new server on Shadow, I will unlock Reaper and Sage, because even if it's only road to 80, I can relatively easily get those up to 80 if I have the road to 80 buff. Oh aye, the creaky old hunter. I hear he got himself paying work and saw his little girl get married on the same day. The husband's said to be the brother of some famous carpenter, and that he don't even need a job to get by. Who? You mean the one whose daughter caught herself a husband in Falcon's Nest? Probably there with her, ain't he? Eh? Hold on there, fellow. Thought he'd left to start a new job someplace else. He was always cursing how his old wounds kept him from practicing his trade. Suppose he found himself something new. So they're in Falcon's Nest. Okay. Hey, Stevanovan. They're where we're already going. Were you able to wring any information from the broom? A new job for him and a new husband for his daughter in Falcon's Nest. They've been taking on a good number of labourers and such to help with the town's restoration. Even an half-crippled old hunter might find some kind of work for himself there. Yes, my prospectometer points unerringly to the west. We shall head to Falcon's Nest and seek out Joy and her father. Yep. Oh, you're right here. Any sign of her? I spy with my little eye. His lordship? What is he doing here? Joy, please! I ask only that you listen a moment. Will you and your husband not consider working for me in the manufactory? Can't do that, my lordship. Can't be a machinist no more. It's best for everyone if I leave that life behind. What do you mean best for everyone? Is that what is best for you? All I want for me is a simple life. One what don't cause problems for those who've shown me some kindness. I'm glad we could talk this one last time, my lordship. I'll be praying that you and your machinists get the recognition you deserve. I always thought Joy was happiest when she had the stock of her flintlock in her hand. Will she now sacrifice that happiness for the satisfaction of others? Or is it that she truly never wished to be a machinist, and merely suffered the training at my insistence? By arming the commoners, 'twas but my intention to place them on equal footing with the nobles who seek to rule them. But caught in the throes of self-righteous ambition, mayhap I've treated them no better. Seems his lordship's having himself a crisis of faith. Might be as you could lend him a sympathetic ear, eh? I'll join you back at the workshop in a bit. There's something I want to look into first. Who has paid off Joy? Where the fuck do I think I'm going? Come on, give me that auto crossbow. Let me be prompto. I've run my prospectometer through all possible permutations, but the result is always the same. We focus on preparations for the Allied operation. So we just given up on bringing joy back? Should we fail House Zamil, then the reputation we built at the tourney will crumble into dust. We'd have to begin again, brick by painful brick. A moment, my lord. I lingered behind in Falcon's Nest to see if I could find Joy's father, but he was nowhere to be found. Got a feeling something ain't right here. If Joy herself has no wish to be a machinist, then what more can I do? 'Tis not my place to meddle in her affairs. Oh, aye, I see how it is. I thought you different from them other nobles, but you're all the same. Only interested in helping commoners as long as they're doing your bidding. Well, I've had enough of taking orders. It's time I went me own way. My grand plans for the future of machinistry. Have they all been in vain? We've come so far. We have, you and I. Speaking of which, I had promised to use those components you brought me to build a new weapon. If naught else, we've certainly made advances in the field of machinistry. Such a tangible measure of progress cannot be ignored. Yes! My prospectometer is so overloaded with the peripheral problems, I fail to see the practical evidence of our success. The path is steep, and our steps are small, but that does not mean the destination is beyond us. I'll ask much of you in the coming days after, and I shall see that you are the most well-equipped machinist in the short history of machinistry. Cool. So, auto crossbow, I think, can only work whilst I'm overheated. And it's basically AoE heat blast. Okay, but it doesn't have the recast time with these. So heat blast is still better for DPS. Okay. It's nice to have the option though. So then this will give us heated split shot and split shot mastery to upgrade split shot. Sweet. I hope your firearm is loaded and ready after. We have received our deployment orders from House Zamil. Several groups of Dravanians are converging on Falcon's Nest, and we've been tasked with eliminating the fiends gathered upon Black Iron Bridge. Knowing Tettlegrinch, and unfortunately I do, I would not put it past him to lure more foes onto the narrow structure simply to overtax us. And we must needs overcome this assault without Joy's help, or Celestos for that matter. He's yet to return since he stormed out the door. I'll assemble our remaining machinists and lead them to Falcon's Nest. Pray, join us there as soon as you may. So is this the level 54? Yeah. Okay. Ah, after. I fear Celestos' departure has inspired his fellows to disregard my commands. You are the only machinist to answer my call to arms. And in response to this insubordination, I've been forced to deploy what few knights we could spare, myself included. They even begged me to come along. As I've said before, fighting bloody dragons ain't in my contract, so they'll be paying me handsomely for the trouble. Is this House Hallionard's entire company? You seem to be short a number of machinists. We're keeping our colleagues in reserves. For an operation such as this, we need field only after the finest machinist in our ranks. Your confidence is truly inspiring. Thankfully, however, there are few enemies threatening the Black Iron Bridge. Even with your sparse numbers, I dare say you shan't be sorely pressed. Celestial, have you come to fight with us? All depends on you, my lord. We found Joy's father. He's being held prisoner in the broom. Held prisoner? You suspect there's some manner of coercion? Aye. We reckon they've been targeting Joy for a while. But Dad vanished right after he landed a job here in Falcon's Nest. And then Joy suddenly up and wed the brother of a carpenter working on the fortifications. House Emil's behind this, or I'm a Chocobo's third cousin. Teddle Grinch, you cad! It's not too late. If we break her dad out, then Joy can abandon her farce of a marriage and come back to the manufactory where she belongs. But the bridge, the Dravanians! Go. Joy is a machinist. As manufactory chief, 'tis your duty to attend to your employees. My knights and I shall march for House Hallionart. You needn't worry. They'll have yours truly fighting right beside him. Go help the boss after. If after goes, then I'll stay behind. We promised machinists to the Zemils. We don't want to break our word now, do we? Just one should be enough. Thank you. Thank you all. We shall conclude this matter with the greatest of haste, and return as swiftly as we can. You'll find one of our manufactory machinists in the broom. He'll show you where Joy's dad's being held. Okie dokie. I find it odd, though, that the rest of the machinists don't want to do shit. Is that because there's no Joy and Celestial went off? But Celestial went off to find out what the fuck's going on. So I don't know, that seems a little sus. Celestial said you'd come. The chief will draw too much attention, so we asked him to wait at the workshop till we're ready to act. Joy's dad is right behind that door over there. We just need to convince the bloke standing guard to open it. Don't exactly look the stoic type, though, so a gorse round ought to have him pissing his trousers. Ow! What in the... You shot me! You shot me in the leg! Please, I ain't done nothing wrong. Some fancy fop dropped a pouch in my lap and told me to guard the door. I swear, that's all I know. How much did he pay you? Not enough to die over, my lord. Please, don't shoot me again. 'Twas not my intention to threaten you. We merely wish you to release the man behind yonder door. And should you fear the vengeance of your employer, you're welcome to take shelter at the manufactory. In fact, why not become a machinist? Then you needn't take on another such unsavory job again. You're offering me work, my lord? Aye, I'll let the bloke out for that. Else, I'll carry him across the city and back for a steady wage. Lord Stefanovan, me humble thanks. You've been locked away for quite some time, my poor man. Do you know who did this to you or why? I've not the faintest idea, my lord. I was hired by House Emil to work on their walls. When I went to join the crew headed out for Falcon's Nest, some bastard, begging your pardon, my lord, slipped a sack over me head and carted me away. I'm just a broken old hunter. I ain't got money for ransom, nor does me family. Got to me thinking that they might have maybe nabbed the wrong bloke. Then you weren't aware that Joy was wed, or that she resigned from her position at both the manor and the manufactory? She got married and quit? Why'd she do a foolish thing like that? Never seen her happier than when she was slinging one of them flintlocks. Ah, that's why they took me. They're blackmailing me little Joy. Ain't no way she up and marry some bloke what wouldn't let her stay at the workshop. And she was a machinist by her own choice. I'm full glad to hear that. 'Tis time we liberated your daughter from her false union. Once she sees you are safe, Do not envy the man who pretends at the role of her husband. I knew you'd set things right, my lord. You take care of Joy, and I'll tell the rest of the machinists whether they can come back to work. Alright then, lad. You come with me. I'll speak with Joy and unravel this nonsense. You, however, must make haste to the Black Iron Bridge, and lend your barrel to the battle. Yup. Oh shit. Rosenthal, you okay? About time you got back. You found Joy's dad then? Good. Now it's up to the boss to bring her back. The fighting's been fierce. Master Rosenthal was injured when he gallantly intercepted a swipe meant to remove my head. Ugh, that's a noble way of saying I tripped over its bloody tail and stumbled into the blow. Any road. You'll have to take me place on the front lines. And do it soon, before these dainty knights get their asses handed to them. Hello. Don't mind me. I'm just here to shoot shit. This one, yes. I like that we actually have a model for it. Come on, men. Fuck. Oh. Yeah. That actually wasn't that many enemies. He was missing a few mates, but he still took care of business. Not that I'd expect aught less from one of my star students. A star indeed. Your arrival was as a gift from the heavens. Oh shit. Load, aim, fire! How'd you like that, you great scaly bastard? I'm afraid I've caused a great deal of trouble for you all. Thank you for rescuing me, Dad. It was no trouble at all for such a fine employee. As you are now wed, I understand that you may not wish to resume your duties at the manor. But have you considered my son's offer that you and your husband come to work at the manufactory? Me husband and me have agreed to part ways. If it please my lord, I'd like to start working again at the workshop and the manor both. Joy, my dear, you are most welcome, of course. Neither the manor nor the manufactory have been the same without you. My lordship, I don't know how to... That is to say... I'm glad to be back. Ah, I see that even for the much distinguished House Hallianart, a handful of dragons pose no threat. I shall have to find a more significant challenge for your next outing. It would seem that you still do not understand that the knight is the master of the battlefield. It was far more than a handful of dragons, Tettlegrinch. Do you think us blind? We know who's working against the manufactory. We know that whose underhanded villainy forced Joy into wedlock. Whatever are you implying? You speak as if I recall the names of your low-born servants, or hold even the slightest interest in their common unions. Now, if you'll excuse me, my lords. That man and his arrogance. My prospectometer and I shall remain vigilant, that we may defeat Tettlegrinch's trickery at every turn. The accolades for this triumph, however, must go to you after. The bridge is clear and Joy has returned to us. I was afraid I'd seen the last of the manufactory. Thank you again for the warm welcome home. I've never felt as old as I did after I joined the ranks of the Machinists. When I had to tell his lordship I was quitting, it felt like I was leaving a part of my soul behind. That's when I realised, to me, being a machinist is more than just firing a weapon. It's a way of connecting to another side of myself. Well, now that you're connected again, we can get back to working on your shooting and your swearing. And there's also the small matter of our delayed tourney celebration. If it please me lordship, I'd like to do some training instead. I feel the need to shoot off 10 score bullets or so. Of course. We all celebrate in our own way. Fire at will, my dear. I, for one, am eager for a stiff drink back at the manufactory. Eh. Eh. Once more, you've proven your worth to the Machinists and to House Hallianart. As for Lord Tettlegrinch, I had my suspicions, but it now seems abundantly clear that he has been behind every mishap and misfortune to befall the manufactory. Despite his knavery, however, our successes in the field will not have escaped the notice of the Holy See. And as our reputation grows, so too shall Tedelgrinch's ire. We'd best be on our guard. Oh, did you hear? During his skirmish with the dragons, Rossenthal developed a new technique. He was adamant that I pass on the particulars to you. Greetings, After. Is this not a wonderful day to be a machinist? Lord Stepanovan de Halionard, you and the Skysteel Manufactory employees under your authority are hereby charged with fomenting insurrection. Insurrection? My dear sir, I fomented nothing of the sort. You stand accused of arming commoners with weapons of war, and discharging said weapons within the locality of the Broom. Ah, that little scene where we liberated Joy's father. Henceforth, the manufactory shall remain under Temple Knight surveillance. Should you fail to refute the accusations against you within the allotted time, punishment may include seizure of your workshop and imprisonment for all those deemed accomplices of the crime. The Fury take that smirking fox! Tedelgrinch knew we would attempt to rescue. Once they set their sights on something, them Temple Knights is like a bandersnatch with a bone. You best say goodbye to farewell to your workshop. They'll not take my manufactory. I'll think of something. 'Tis difficult to prove the truth of something one has not done. Mayhap the wiser course would be to provide evidence of Tedelgrinch's wrongdoing. He's a clever bastard though, that one. You might try, but I'd best not overstep my bounds. My contract's almost done in any case, and I'll be moving on no matter what happens to the workshop. Our instructor. Our instructor. You sure don't like getting involved. As for me, I'll see if I can find any strings connecting our Samil to their crimes. The Forgotten Knight should be a good place to start. I don't know what I'd do without the workshop. I'll see if I can't get some folk talking. And that leaves you and me after. I believe I shall remain here in the manufactory to occupy the gaze of the Temple Knights, whilst you aid Celiosto with his inquiries. To be fair, I probably need to see about my... Did I do the... I did, yes. Probably need to see someone about my retainers. What does the clan mark log do again? I think it unlocks something. Oh, if I get 6 of them, I can get a Wyvern mount. Okay. I could do that. Given that, other than that, there's not a great deal of stuff for me to buy here. I can hold fire, though, because I can... If I need 6 and they're 500 each, I need 3,000 to do that. And I can actually hold that many. So I may as well wait for the sake of keeping an inventory slot free. I appreciate you coming out after. It's a bit hard planning all in the workshop, what with the Temple Knights eyeballing our every move. We should be able to talk freely in here, though. Do you recall that bloke as was standing guard over Joy's dad? Aye. Fredio is his name. He took to marksmanship with a passion and hadn't missed a day of training. Not till today. Got suspicious, of course, and decided to pay a visit to his house. Right away, you could see the door had been kicked in, so went inside and had me a proper look. That's when I found a ragged feather just lying there on the floor amidst the bits of broken furniture. If I want to keep my hands clean, then maybe I'd hire me some thugs from out of town to do for poor Fredio. Thugs what might otherwise make a living poaching wild chocobos. I suggest you talk to Lord Stefanovan and take a trip out to Tailfeather. I'll keep poking around here in the city and see what else crawls out of the stonework. Okay. So, Halionar may have hired people from Tailfeather to fuck up our new machinist. This may be our best lead. If we can track down the man who first employed Fredio, we shall have a solid link to House Zamil. Let us waste no time. Onward to the Dravanian Fallens and to Tailfeather. I'm liking the location of the people when we teleport. It's nice and close. Good news, Arthur. I've spoken with some few of these hunter fellows, and they told me of a trio of ruffians that passed through here, dragging a man matching Fradio's description. We shall scour the forest to the south, if you will look to the north. Do not wait for us, should you find these ruffians. Then pray, confront them ere Fredio comes to further harm. I'm so glad that I waited until I had flying to do all of these, because it just makes this so much easier. No witnesses. Cut this one's throat and all. Well, that was easy. Ah, they had a seal of House Zamil on them. My thanks. I did not expect to see another dawn. Fredio, not leaking blood, are you? Splendid. You gave us quite a scare. Forgive me, Lord. Those men... They dragged me from my home. Said they'd hurt me if I didn't swear false witness to the Temple Knights. You were forced to substantiate their accusations. Then you will merely need withdraw your testimony to strengthen our position. 'Twould be a boon if we were also able to provide some manner of physical evidence. A seal of House Zamil. 'Twould explain how the ruffians who snatched Fredio were able to enter the city without challenge. Aye, this shall do nicely. Truly sorry, my lord. All it took were one little beating for me to repay your kindness with betrayal. I'll not darken your doorstep again. What nonsense! You hardly had a choice in the matter. Continue your training at the manufactory. However, and you'll become more than a match for thugs such as these. Even without a noble's wealth or prestige, a common man can earn himself independence. You'll see that a machinist's firearm is for more than just shooting dragons. It can help set you free. His lordship's vision will change Ishgard for the better. Come with us, Fredio. Become the spear and the shield that our city needs. I'd like that. I'd like to feel like I'm worth something. We all make mistakes, my dear fellow. The trick is to learn from them and rise stronger from every defeat. Come, let us return to the manufactory. That was level 56, right? Okay. Two more. Two more. Depending on how long the Scholar one is, we might get to a third set of job quests today. But with it be, if we do a third one, I don't think it will be Dark Knight. Because as much as I really want to do Dark Knight, because I'm interested in the story, I'm probably going to be quite sleepy by that point. The tables have turned, my friend. I've submitted the evidence you found to the Temple Knights. With the aid of Fradio's new testimony, we had enough evidence to lodge a counter-accusation against Tedelgrinch. The wheels of justice have begun to turn, and we shall soon be free of these baseless suspicions. In the meantime, Rosenthal requests that I instruct you to remember your bleeding practice drills. Charming fellow. Sweet. So that is... Okay, so it doesn't stack with anything else, but it's still a myth that I have as a DPS. Ah, yes. Drill. I thought it was screw. I guess it's not. Whoops. Oh well. Whoops. We'll drill things then instead of screw them. After, I trust your training fares well. I've heard naught on the fate of the manufactory and would welcome fair news from any quarter. Bad news, my lordship. We talked to a clerk who works at the congregation, and he says the accusation against the workshop ain't been lifted yet. What's worse, it seems they ain't inclined to pursue your case against Tedelgrinch neither. I do not understand. When I presented my evidence to the Temple Knights, the officer in charge seemed convinced of our innocence. My dear naive Stefanovan. Truth is dictated by the victor, the one most skilled in strategy, the one most adept at maneuvering, one such as me. How dare you show your face in my manufactory? Have you no shame at all? Shame? Why, you were the one who submitted a forgery of my house's seal in an attempt to deflect your obvious guilt. Upon review of the evidence, however, the Temple Knights shall soon rule in my favour. Our sources were unimpeachable. Our innocence was all but proven. The twice-altered testimony of a commoner is hardly unimpeachable, and you cannot deny claims that the ailing House Hallionart has been arming the lowborn and inciting them to seize their independence. We have all heard the shots fired within the city walls. You would twist and corrupt everything we have worked for. As I said, such is the privilege of the victor. If you wish, I might even be willing to teach you how to bend this situation to your advantage. We should do well enough on our own. Now, exit my manufactory ere you find your shiny armor doused with machine oil. You would spurn my generous advice? Will you truly surrender your last chance to demonstrate House Hallionart's unswerving devotion to Ishgard's prosperity? There is a beast that has been harassing our supply trains of late, a menace that the Holy See greatly desires to see put down. Even cloistered here among your scrap-covered benches, You must have heard tales of the fearsome Very Selen. Very Selen? The same dragon that the Order of the Knights Dragoon has failed time and again to slay. He means to make a bloody show of you lads. The Holy See has agreed to abolish your trial in exchange for the dragon's death. Pray, send word when you are prepared to face Very Selen. I shall organise for a priest to be present and provide you with suitable bait. My lordship, what do we do? I'll just confess it was me that was firing my weapon. Shouldn't have any trouble laying the blame on a drunken outsider, especially one what's known for his vicious crimes. That ought to get you off the insurrection charges at least. No, you cannot do such a thing. I lived half my life in a ship's cabin, and a prison cell ain't much smaller. You can pay me for the time in the brig after they let me out. I'll stop him, my lordship. By the fury, that man's full of surprises. My prospectometer had naught to say of this eventuality. Cannot allow our instructor to sacrifice himself for the manufactory. We have no choice but to accept Tettlegrinch's impossible challenge. But I fear Rossensthal will not be convinced unless we prove we have a chance of defeating Very Selen. I do have a machinistry marvel in mind that might just do the trick. Its implementation, however, will require a number of clear lightning crystals, of the like found in the Sea of Clouds. 'Tis said that the Vanu Vanu store such crystals for use in their tribal ceremonies. Pray, steal into Okvunduvana and lighten their baskets a touch. Surely they won't miss a handful or two. Okay. We didn't have to go to the Sea of Clouds for Astro or White Mage. At least I don't think I had to do it for Astro. I know I didn't have to do it for White Mage. What? Whilst we're here... I haven't done my dailies for today. We are getting there with reputation, though. Potentially... Tomorrow we'll be able to get up with the Mughals. No, will we? Yeah, we will. We'll be able to get up with the Mughals and the Vanu Vanu. So it's just the Vath are going to take a while longer. After! I was just about to fly out to Ishgard and track you down. You remember Cake Sith, that Mackie familiar? We've been working with him on a plan to find Diabolus in the Queen's coffin. They've been void sent fights. There have been void sent There have been void sent sightings from pirates all over, so we know that bat-winged bugger is hiding someplace in the sky. Just don't know exactly where. And as for the goings about pinpointing the location, Leofard and the feline are bickering over just exactly how. That's where you come in. If you spare a moment or two, we could really use a third opinion to break the stalemate. Besides all that, Leofard's eager to have another hand to help in the search, so come on over to the Parak as soon as you're able. You know the way from here, don't you? That's right, now we can explore it. As far as I'm aware, there isn't really anything that you can do here, though. All it is just a way to get to where to do this quest. It kind of looks like a Skyblock island from Minecraft, though. It gives that kind of vibes because it's just the lone island surrounded by fucking nothing. Thanks for coming. The captain and the cat are inside, still having their discussion. Talk to Leofard, will you? Before I strangle the both of them. This room looks very Kingdom Hearts. If you're here to ask about the Queen's coffin, then you'd best turn around and walk straight out again. This aggravating furball's turning my mood sour as month-old all goat milk. Leofard, After's come all this way to help us, at your request, I might add. She deserves to hear where we stand on the search, at least. The search is giving me ulcers, is what it is. By all reports, Diabolus is lurking somewhere in the heavens, building up his forces. The sky's a vast dome, as high as the ocean is deep. We not the pirates to scour every damn floating rock. That's when I tried my luck with Redalia. You remember her, don't you? Captain of the Talons, blonde hair, one eye, stole our bloody compass. Well, I've been eavesdropping with that link pearl I slipped into the casing, hoping to catch something useful. But all I've heard from her and her sorry crew is snoring, grumbling, and japes about the Archbishop's holy nethers. In the end, seems we've no choice but to do this the hard way. But a certain mewling annoyance refuses to acknowledge the truth of it. You cannot possibly hope to investigate the entire sky with this meagre handful of ne'er-do-wells. I find my suggestion to seek aid from your fellow pirate gangs a perfectly reasonable one under the circumstances. Ah, stow it, you mangy alley cat! You're not the faintest idea of how sky pirates operate. Best case scenario, we'd be locked into a deal to hand over any treasure we find. And that's assuming we weren't laughed out of the room to begin with. You cannot assume that every man and woman shares your base morality. If we but made the attempt, I am sure we could convince some few of the nobility of our cause. And so it goes, round and round. Knowing pirates as I do, I find myself siding with the captain on this. But what are you after? Any thoughts on the matter? We should handle this ourselves. See there? Even Arthur agrees with me. We proceed as we've been, and try to cover as much sky as possible. However we tackle things, though, we've a long road ahead of us. I'll see if I can't think of a better way to shorten it. You might as well head back to your adventures, unless you're willing to lend us your experience in another matter, that is. Utata, our chief engineer, has been mumbling about the Void Ark and cursing under her breaths for days. Might be as you can provide some insight into a dilemma. She is conducting her research in the Sea of Clouds, yes? Well, I should rather discuss the properties of the Void Ark than continue with this fruitless debate. I shall see you down there after. So where is she? Oh, she's there. Okay, well I can head there on my way to my my quest. That's easy enough. Map is huge. Why couldn't they have had the Vanu village like over here? Because then at least you'd like have some options, but because both of the Aetherites are over on this side. It's just so annoying. Don't jump. You've got so much to live for. So many more things to build. What troubles you, Mistress Utata? We were told that some matter regarding the Void Ark is causing you no small measure of grief. What the fuck? Oh. Mistress Utata, what are you... Ugh. Ugh. I feel so much better now. My apologies, Casey. You had the misfortune to enter my field of view just as I felt the intense desire to squeeze something warm and furry. It's this damnable ectocompass. I made another one, you see, identical in all respects to the first compass that Redalia stole. Pardon me, Jesus Christ. I had a pizza for dinner and it's decided that it wanted to say hello. I made another one, you see, identical in all respects to the first compass that Radlia stole. But look, it points in a completely different direction to where the Void Ark should currently be. I don't understand what I did wrong. I used the same plans, the same parts. I can imagine that would be infuriating. And you are certain there are no flaws in the design or the materials? Positive. I've tweaked and adjusted and replaced every single piece, but it refuses to function as intended. I'm on the verge of tossing the blasted thing over the edge. What do you make of this, After? I don't think the compass is broken. I don't think it pointed to the Void Ark. Yes, I'm inclined to agree. Judging by your previous work, it would seem unlikely that the compass itself is defective. We must consider other factors. Might you explain to us the principle by which the ectocompass tracks the Void Ark? It all comes down to etheric signature. I discovered that the Void Ark is encompassed by an energy of rather peculiar composition, so I simply tuned the compass to follow its unique trail. An energy of peculiar composition, you say? Of course, the Ark was propelled by the siphoned energies of Void Scent. Could it be that the compass was tracking not the vessel itself, but the ether of the entities imprisoned within? That would certainly explain why the compass now points in a different direction than one would expect. After all, Diabolos and the Shadow Queen are no longer on board the Ark. Are you implying that if we plotted a course based on the readings from the ectocompass, we'd arrive on the demon's doorstep, so to speak? Just so, Mistress Utata. Assuming my theory is correct, we no longer require outside assistance to pursue our elusive quarry. Oh, Stasia, what perfect timing. You won't believe the wonderful discovery we've just... Talon airships have been spotted en route to our nest. If it's revenge they're looking for, we'd best head back and make ready for them. Truce, Red Bill. We need your help to save Captain Radlia. You're one of Radlia's favourites. You threatened my crew, steal our compass, and now you come and crawling to me for help. What kind of unholy mess have you cretins stumbled into? Aye, we took your damn compass, but it didn't show us to the ghost ship. We ended up at some mouldy old ruins lousy with Voidson. Before we knew it, some sort of spider demon was knocking our ships out of the sky. 2 of us managed to pull away, but we saw what happened to them as got caught on the ground. If the captain survived the massacre, she's stuck there with no wings to fly out again. Why don't you give that link pearl a listen, Captain? Might be as we can learn if Radley is alive or dead, at least. Ugh, so much buzzing. Can't hear a blasted... Wait, I'm getting some words. They're after Maki artifact. Darn demons are searching. Hide. And then a bunch of screaming. Seems Radley is still kicking for now, but who knows for how long. If those screams were an act, then consider me fooled. I don't think the Talons are laying a trap here. I've half a mind to leave Radley to her fate, but I never turn my back on an adventure. Especially when the centre treasure's in the air, eh? Now, tell me where you found these ruins. You'll help us then. You're a good man, Redbill. We left the captain in the Yafime Saltmoor, just northwest of Mordona. In Yafime, you say? You must speak of the ruined shell of Mak itself. But Shototo's Black Heart. Should they be after the Nullstone? What's that, Puss? You think you know what those fiends are after? Right. Utata, see that these talons are patched up. Then have the Raymeel ready to fly. Don't spare the oil. You know I love to hear it purr. After, Stasia, bring the furball to my quarters and we'll have ourselves a chat about our impending trip to Old Mark. I really wish they didn't have this random bit. Just give me a stairwell. I'd rather a stairwell than have to do that. Oh, I can't walk on it like Kate Sith. Okay. Right, Furball. Let's hear about this artifact that Diabolos is looking for. If I am to speak of the Nullstone, then I must first explain the method by which Maki sorcerers would bind the Void Scent into service. The more powerful the Void Scent, the more difficult it is to manifest its presence in this world. Their own immense strength weighs them down like an anchor, you see, preventing them from breaking the surface of our dimension. And that is why they cooperate with mortal sorcerers. A mage can provide a suitable vessel for the summoning, or rip a large enough hole in the fabric of reality for the entity itself to step through. Now let me guess, the mages forced the Void Scent to agree to a pact in return for the invitation into our world? That is correct, but it would be foolhardy to expect such devious and malevolent creatures to abide by the spirit of even the most carefully worded contract. Thus did the Makai Magi construct an occult device that would more securely bind the Void Scent to their will. A safeguard of sorts, that to the best of my knowledge, yet lies entombed within the remnants of the ancient city. The Nullstone was seen as a last resort. Should a Void Scent break its pact and turn on its summoner, the mage could use the relic to disperse the very essence of even the most potent entity, obliterating it completely. I can't see the royals of the Void taking too kindly to a threat like that. Seems these sorcerers were just as ruthless as the monsters they summoned. When it came to the glory of Muk, the ends justified the means. In any event, we can be certain that Diabolos seeks to secure the Nullstone before it falls into mortal hands, and thereby ensure that Sakath will reign unopposed. Alright, so we know what the fiends are after. What I don't understand is why such a valuable relic was left behind when the mages knew a colossal flood was on the way. Its value was the very reason they chose not to risk its relocation. The Nullstone is kept within a structure constructed for the purpose, secured behind powerful wards and protected by deadly guardians. And with the rising of the waters, they reasoned that the artifact would be sunk along with the city, far beyond the reach of vengeful Voidsent. But now that Yafim is more swamp than sea, the demons only have the wards and the guardians to deal with, and I doubt they'd be wasting their time down there in the mud if they didn't have some trick to break through the wards. Aye, this will become a race to see who can nab the treasure first, which is just the sort of contest a sky pirate lives for. So we slip into the ruins, pinch the relic, then rescue Radlia right from under the fiends' noses. Well, I suppose we could save her while we're poking around for loot. I'll grab the new compass from Utata so that we know where we're going. Check your weapons, pack your small clothes, and meet me out by the landing when you're ready to fly. We'll fly directly to Yafim from here. Once we arrive, you forge ahead with your band of adventurers as you did on the Ark. Just keep slicing into the depths till you reach that Nullstone. Eh? Don't want to risk getting knocked out of the sky like the Talons, so we best land a little ways out from the ruins and head in on foot. The Furball says he knows the place well enough to guide you, so me and the Red Bills will follow behind on rescue duty. You concentrate on smashing the path through the artifact. We'll check the nooks and crannies for Radlia and her crew. Don't let your guard down once you reach the ruins though, eh? There's likely golems and such in there what are worse than the fiends outside. We wouldn't want our hero losing her head now, would we? Kadoki. Well, I need to, yeah. Words. So I could probably queue into it immediately, or barely immediately, as Astro or something. I wouldn't mind doing it as a DPS, because I don't know. Basically, everything after Void Art, I don't actually know the Alliance raids, because they just came up so rarely in roulettes that I think I did them once and then haven't done them again. It's like I've seen, I think the third one in this chain is the Airborne Monastery, which I think I've done twice. And then I think I've done the first raid for Stormblood twice. As well as I think the second one of Stormblood is like a aqueducty style thing, which I think I've also done 2 or 3 times. But I haven't done any of the Shadowbringers ones. And I don't think I've done the last one from the Stormblood series. Even once. Yoinkers. Oh, sweet. Okay, that wasn't that difficult. But is this going to be a two-parter, or is this just going to give us the skill and then we get to do the level 60? For the machinistry marvel I have in mind, I shall need the clear lightning crystals found in the Sea of Cloud. Ah yes, these are wonderful specimens. These crystals shall allow me to broaden the capacities of your Aethera transformer via a more efficient process of energy conversion. I only hope it will be impressive enough to convince our instructor to abandon his foolish course. Okay, but now I can drill shit. It's an off-global cooldown. Let's face it, as a DPS, I'm not often doing interrupts. Okay, so yeah, we do still have a level 58. One of our machinists just returned to report on the situation with Rosenthal. 'Twould seem that Joy and some few colleagues have caught up to him in the pillars. Pray, make your way to the scene and persuade the instructor to stand down. But yeah, that is the equivalent of basically 2 clean shots in a single attack that is off global cooldown and I can use every 20 seconds basically. Give me more. I want big damage. What the fuck? Should have known you'd be along. Now back off before I teach this student the meaning of point blank. I'm talking to you as well, Joy. Step aside. Bloody well will not step aside. After, take the fight out of him with a gorse round, if you please. Is that how it's gonna be, eh? Come on then. We'll see who shoots first. Bloody elves, that was fast. Your students ever strive to impress you, Rosenthal? It is thanks to After's diligence that I was able to once more improve the tools of our trade. Even very Selen cannot stand against the advances we have made in both technique and technology. You must have faith that our machinists will prevail. And though I appreciate your eagerness to occupy a cell on my behalf, such a sacrifice will not halt Tedelgrinch's crusade against the manufactory. Aye, you might be right about that. He's right about more than just that. You've got to stop underestimating what we're capable of. Haha, I keep forgetting what a stubborn lot I'm dealing with. You're the ones what are challenging the very stones what Ishgard was built on. Alright, I won't give myself up, on one condition. All talk of contracts aside, you let me open the fight against this very Selen nightmare. You've always sought to avoid such entanglements before. What has changed? It's a matter of penance. Back when I was still in charge of the Kudus, I lied to my subordinates. Instead of serving the thalassocracy, I had them lads working to further my own agenda. It all came apart, though, when I sent a glut of them off to die in a battle they had no business being in. I had my eyes on the Admiral's chair, see? But what kind of Admiral would do that? It was reckless and selfish, and got a lot of good people killed. After they stripped me of my rank, I drowned myself in drink, and took up the life of the worst kind of pirate. That soldier I tried to visit in Camp Overlook, he was one of my lads what survived. I've been sending him every coin I could spare to pay back my bloody debt. But there ain't enough guilt in the world what could buy off me guilt. And now, years later, I see a chance to undo the wrongs I done. A bunch of Smith students plan to charge into a situation they got no business being in, and our plan is to see him come out of it alive. Well then, consider yourself invited to the battle. Come, lead us in a pre-battle drill, Rosenthal. Once more, your skill at firearms has rescued the manufactory from peril. Let us head back there, shall we? Ah, there you are. I've sent word of our decision to Tettlegrinch. Even with the instructor's added firepower, however, I fear this challenge will test us to our very limits. Rosenthal has vowed to stay with us, regardless of the terms of his contract, until the sins of his past have been washed away in very Sellen's blood. Let us then take advantage of every moment we have with him now, until the battle to hone our skills to a razor's edge. A day has been chosen for our trial against very Sellen. More than any that have come before, this battle shall be pivotal in deciding the future of the manufactory and machinistry both. Thus, ere we march forth to meet our fate, I would hold a celebration in honour of all that we have accomplished. As has become customary, however, the principal players are nowhere to be found. Pray, head out into the city and seek out Joy, Rosenthal, Cellistow, and my father. So one of them's down here. The Count, okay. I am invited to the manufactory? Well, well, how times have changed. Though I appreciate the gesture, I do not have a place at that table. I vowed to leave Skysteel matters to Stevanovan alone, and so I shall. Tell my son that I shall pray for victory, and the prosperous future that will grow from his success. I'll head there right now, but before we do, Arthur, I wanted to thank you again for helping me find my way. I just got myself back to where I belong, and I ain't about to give up the workshop a second time. Feast, is it? I can already feel my belly rumbling. As always, the chief works to make the manufactory a place where commoners feel like me feel welcome. He's done his best for us, and I mean to do the best for him, even if it means fighting that monster of a dragon. And last but not least, Rosenthal. What? Another bleeding celebration? Well, I guess we never did get to have that first one. Ah, after. I knew the first time I met you, you'd be a demon with a carbine. And bugger me if I weren't right. Now look at us, ready to stand side by side against one of the biggest, bloodiest dragons to ever raid a supply train. I'll get everyone through this though, don't you worry. Okie dokie. Let's go kill a dragon, yes? Thank you for summoning everyone to the feast. And thank you for Father's message. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends. Soon we shall introduce very Selen to the rage of the Machinists. For the manufactory! And for Ishgard! For Ishgard! See how their eyes shine with determination. You were the perfect choice to act as my ambassador. Ever has your presence been a boon to the manufactory. I often wonder what would have become of us had you not chosen to walk the path of the Machinist. Though our next battle together will indeed be perilous, it shall also serve to demonstrate the pinnacle of our achievements. When very Selen lies defeated in the snow, we will have accomplished a deed that Tedelgrinch and the Holy See believe nigh impossible. When you're ready to make history, join us at the site of the trial in the Kurthus Western Highlands. At this point, I might just do the Weeping City of Mark after we finish Machinist and then call it there for today. Because I'm getting kinda EP. God. These fucking maps. It's so big. That's what she said. Lord Tuttlegrinch, my machinists are assembled. We now but await the arrival of the dreaded Very Selen. Excellent. I am accompanied by a priest of the Holy See who shall ensure that the trial proceeds in accordance with Ishgardian law. A wagon has also been provided to tempt the talons of your quarry. The Observatorium has been tracking the creature's movements. According to their calculations, Very Selen and its entourage should fly over this pass within the hour. Should the machinists of the Skysteel Manufactory satisfy the conditions of this trial by combat, either through victory or valorous death, then shall your innocence be proven and your honor redeemed. Should you choose to flee, however, I trust I need not elaborate further. We shall oversee proceedings from on high, that I might judge thine actions evenly and with uninterrupted view. May justice be served. Your reverence, pray, do not avert your eyes should the scene become one of bloody carnage. We'd not wish to deny these fine combatants a fair trial. My strategy for the battle is thus. Hit these beasts with everything we have. Deploy every turret. Shoot every bullet. We shall bury Very Selen under a hail of metal and fire. Hello. Oh, the animation's changed as well. I now do a barrel roll. Oh! Oh shit. Easy. Bloody else, it's massive. And that thing's the thing we gotta kill. As Manufactory Chief, I have but one order for you all. Survive the battle. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. They were up high and the thing was flying. They were closer to it. Machinists, protect the fallen! Why do this? Why protect me? Should you but allow the dragons to do their bloody work, you'll be free to pursue your agenda. Aye, and few could argue that you'd earned it. After the grief you've caused, I should take what is left of your corpse and string it up for target practice. But if my machinists are truly to be the spear and shield of Ishgard, we must defend all of her citizens with equal zeal. I fear that excessive association with commoners has softened your brain. The oath you've sworn, however, is indeed a knightly one. If you're done yapping, Lord Tettlegrinch, we're a bit bloody busy here. Wag that tongue again and it'll be the first thing I put a bullet through. You'd best heed her warning, old fellow. Joy's not one to give voice to idle threats. Until this day, I have but observed your battles from afar. What a perfect opportunity for me to evaluate your skills from a more intimate perspective. By the Fury, is he still speaking? Leave him, Joy. We've more pressing matters to attend to. Let us shoot a path through the foes arrayed before us. Should really be using reassemble on screw, shouldn't I? That'd be the smart thing to do. But I'm not a smart man. Oh shit, oh, okay. I'm supposed to be protecting him. That's right, yeah.
Whoopsie.
Bye-bye. I like having drill. Drill is good. I like drill. We've done it! The damnable beast is dead! I thank you for saving my life. The accusations? The accusations against you shall, of course, be withdrawn. As a further token of my gratitude, I would offer you a boon. Speak your wish, and I shall do all within my power to grant it. A boon? You think one little favour will wipe the ledger clean of your steaming shite? Fortunately, my heart has but one desire. I will have your oath that henceforth you shall no longer oppose the rise of the Machinists, and never again seek to interfere in the operation of the Sky Steel manufactory. Is that all? No chests of coin, no promises of power? The workings of your mind are truly an enigma to me. But you shall have my word on this. Nevertheless, indeed, we shall discover the best means by which your fine machinist might contribute to Ishgard's defences. It is only from behind a sturdy front line that a machinist's full potential is realised. Together with your knights, however, we will change the face of war. Of course! You cannot yet do without the masters of the battlefield. May we strike fear into the hearts of our enemies and ensure the continued prosperity of the Holy See. Fare you well, Lord Stefanovan. Well, that's that then. Thanks for letting me join you on this one, boss. I think I'm ready to move on now. Joy, your arm's as sharp as your RP tongue. Good work, lass. I nominate you to take over as Master of Marksmanship. After. You're too bleeding quiet, but your weapon speaks loud enough, I suppose. Keep firing like you do, and I reckon new students will flock to the workshop to follow in your footsteps. Are you truly leaving us? I've never been the kind of bloke who sticks in one place for too long. You treated me well at the workshop. Better than I deserve, I reckon. But it's time I weighed anchor. I'll be seeing you then. Should your travels bring you back to Ishgard, know you always have a place at the manufactory, my friend. Shall we be on our way as well? Sweet. I don't trust it. Okay, no, it was the right one. Yep. What an extraordinary turn of events. With these troubles behind us, however, I feel the age of machinistry has finally arrived. And you, after, have all but outgrown the manufactory. With Rosenthal's departure, there are none who might compete with your skill at arms. Pray, take the lessons you've learned, and make known the machinist's trade in every corner of Eorzea. You are, of course, welcome to return to us whenever you desire. We shall be here, ever serving Ishgard as her deadliest spear and sturdiest shield. Before I forget, Rosenthal asked that I encourage you to push the limits of your marksmanship. I believe his exact words were, so that you can blast through any pile of shite what might stand in your way. I'm getting better at the accent, don't you think? yeah! Sweet. So yeah, that's that powered up as well now. Considerably as well. Heated slugshot does more than clean shot. Interesting. And I don't get heated clean shot until level 64. Okay. Nice. And now we get the Machinist's armor, which is basically Stefanovan's armor. Although actually, some of this might be better than what I had. Never mind, it wasn't. Oh, I should have known that the gloves definitely weren't going to be better. But okay. That's good. Right. What are we looking at for Alliance Raid? Alliance Raid, maybe I could do... wait time. Okay, what about if instead wipe as a healer? A 6-minute wait time. I don't particularly want to tank an Alliance raid because I don't know how to tank an Alliance raid. Okay, well I guess we'll do it as DPS then, as it had the shortest. To the Forgotten Knight, because I have some stuff to put in my glamour dresser. I never did deal with this, did I? That's shit, thank you. I mean, I do need to upgrade your gear, to be fair. Oh. Thanks. I hate them. Okay, so get the Welkin hat, which I apparently hadn't put back in here. It's not terrible, we'll put that in there as well. Hey, Patinga, how you doing? I need to repair those in order to do anything with them. Oh yeah, these bits for Dragoon, I really may as well just put them in my storage because Reaper starts at a higher level than any of this gear anyway. I'm doing alright. I am looking forward to, but at the same time apprehensive about the graphics card tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it getting here. I can't wait to hopefully fix every issue that I've ever had with it. But I'm also a little bit scared. Because it's expense. Do I have any other Lancer shit? Surely I must have that or something better equipped. Okay, I do have something better equipped. But I need to repair it. You know what then? Fuck it. Legs, repair all. Because I also need the shoes. Thank you. Bunny. I am starting to run out of glam slots. Oh boy. Let's look at this one. So I'm just waiting for the Alliance raid to pop at this point. The Dragoon. We have we have Viking armor, we have Demon Mail, or there's always the Worm's Mail. I kind of like the Viking armor, to be honest. Let's lean into that. I think that kind of works. Doesn't really matter because you don't see most of it. And then, of course, helmets are a bit of a difficult situation. I can't dye that or the legs. I could dye these though. Oh, I could dye these quite badly. Yeah. I don't think that looks terrible, but I'd need to keep working on it. I don't have that many bits of Lance armor. To be honest, I don't hate what's currently going on. Like, there's a little bit high tech going on with the legs. But I don't hate that. And I kind of like the fact that it's sort of a chainmail body for maneuverability, but then my legs and arms are actually defended. It looks like potentially functional armor. So I don't hate that. It looks like we don't want to get Weeping City. Yeah, man. Okay, well that has lowered the queue time. I don't know how, but it has lowered it. So I'll take it. I suppose I could do my dailies? That's kind of all I can do. Yeah. Because I couldn't even go to, thingy. Gold Saucer and do gates, because those are instanced. So you can't do it whilst you're queuing for a duty. Give me all your shit! I don't care what you have to say, just give me all your shit! Thank you. Okay, good, you don't need me to talk to the kin tamer for any of these. The only reason I don't want that is if this queue does pop whilst I'm on one of the Beast Tribe mounts. When you come back, you lose the mount, and so you end up having to go back to wherever you got it from. Another adventurer. I think I have to beat up her son. I think that's how this quest works. Legitimately. I think it centers around me beating up her son. Oh, it's the egg one. Egg boy. Go on, grab the egg. There we go. Very Monster Hunter. No one wants to do Weeping City, apparently. I guess most people will have already done their roulettes by now. we might have to come back to Weeping City another time. It should be unfortunate, but it's looking like that's going to be what it has to be. Because yeah, I don't think I've got it in me to do another set of job quests, because I'm just pretty tired. Day is catching up with me. And I want to make sure that I can get some decent sleep, because depending on how things go with the graphics card tomorrow, it could be a long day. Hello. Yeah, plonk. Well, for the next stream, hopefully we will be leveling up our reputation with the Vanu and the Mughals. But most likely not the Va just yet. I might try and make some more progress on the A Realm Reborn relics that I've got left, to try and polish those off. We'll probably have all of the singing clusters that I need to get the anima relic to the next stage. Like, this should really go and show just how much quicker anima relics are than A Realm Reborn relics. Now they send Viera to challenge this mighty king of dragons to a game of tag. You'll never catch me. Okay, so this one's just tag. Not necessarily beating the shit out of him. Sad. You're really, really fast, but not fast enough. No, she got me. You're so much more fun to play with than the Vath. So slow and clumsy. You can hear them coming from arms away. All that flying made me tired. Time to return home now. Bye-bye, missus. And now I have to speak to the dragon again. So I may as well just teleport. Soon after his return, my son fell fast asleep. I've not seen him so happy or exhausted in a long while. Thank you. Oh, I'll potentially also have done a bunch more stuff in the Gold Saucer to get Moogle tombstones. So I might have more goodies from the event by then. but I kind of doubt it. I'm also trying to get the all of the extreme mounts from A Realm Reborn and the one from Ravana. So far, I think I've done Ravana like 16 times, and I haven't gotten its mount yet. Which isn't that surprising, but it is a little annoying. Because Ravana is probably the easiest one to get. It doesn't look like Weeping City wants to pop. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it here for tonight. It's a bit of a shorter one, but AEP. So we will probably be back on Wednesday. And depending on how things go between... No, Wednesday will probably be another stream of Final Fantasy XIV. Because whilst I am working my way through some of Rebirth off stream in hard mode to get the folios for SP, like literally it's just blasting through, not watching cutscenes, just trying to get through the boss fights to get the folios. I think it's still going to be a while before I have the SP that I need for the weapon levels and stuff. So it probably won't be this week, but maybe next week that we try that, picking that up again. I'm hoping that the new graphics card fixes the issues with Elden Ring so that we can pick that back up on the weekend, though. Of course, if things go wrong with the graphics card, who knows what's going to happen, and I might not be able to stream at all. But I doubt it'll get that bad, because worst case scenario, I'll still have my 970s. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.